Hey, it's Michael Sandler again with Fisher-Sandler, and we are continuing on our Bankruptcy Myth Busters series. So, busting those myths, the wrong information you're getting from the internet, from your friends, from your parents, things that you are hearing that is simply not correct. So, this is an important one. Pay attention. You filing bankruptcy should not affect your non filing spouse. So, if you are married, and your spouse says, no, you can't file bankruptcy, you're going to mess up my credit. That is not the case. You filing bankruptcy will not appear on your spouse's credit report. It's not going to affect your spouse's credit. It's not going to make their score go down. It's not going to have any effect at all. Years and years and years ago, there was a class action suit by thousands of spouses whose credit was affected when they didn't file bankruptcy, but their spouses did. And so the credit agencies, as a result of that lawsuit, realized if someone doesn't file bankruptcy, it doesn't matter if their spouse files, we can't put it on their credit report. So rest assured, if you file bankruptcy, it will not affect your spouse. I have had this concern from more people than I can remember, hundreds and hundreds of people over the years. And I have talked to spouses on the phone to reassure them, and I've never had anyone come back and tell me I was wrong. I've never had any angry spouses come back to me and tell me, you're wrong, my credit got messed up when my husband or wife filed. Hasn't happened. Now, for individual accounts, one thing to pay attention to is if you have a joint account with your spouse and only one person files, the non-filing person is still solely liable for that debt. So if you have a joint credit card for $10,000 you're hoping to get rid of, and husband files but wife doesn't want to file, well, wife is still going to be on the hook for that debt and can still be sued or garnished or pursued in whatever manner by the creditor. Likewise, if there is an account for a car or a house, then in other words, a continuing obligation that you're going to have because you're keeping the car, you're keeping the house, you're making the mortgage and car payments. The account can be placed in a bankruptcy status. So what does that mean? Let's say that you have a mortgage with your spouse, and so the wife files bankruptcy, but the husband does not. The husband gets on the phone because he wants to make the mortgage payment like he does every month over the phone. And the lender says, the mortgage company says, I'm sorry, we can't take the payment from you over the phone. The account is in bankruptcy. And so I've gotten a few angry calls about that, even though I warned people ahead of time. It does not mean that it's going to show up in the husband's credit that the account is in bankruptcy. Just for the mortgage company, for their internal purposes, they are designating the account as being in bankruptcy because they're being very careful not to violate the filing wife's rights. They're making sure they don't ask her for any money or any payments, which they're not allowed to do, or even communicate with the wife. In fact, if the husband wants to communicate with the mortgage company might be real paranoid about violating any rights, and they might need a letter from me giving them permission to talk to the wife or the husband. Again, all these things we can remedy. And for that payment that you want to make over the phone, well, while you're in bankruptcy for 3 months, write a check and send it in. They'll accept it. Or, program it through your bill pay with your bank, and your bank will send out the check. If you're not sure what a check is, because who uses checks anymore? I might be the only person I know who uses checks. Ask your parents. They know what a check is. But the bottom line is that filing bankruptcy does not affect the non-filing spouse's credit, no matter what you've heard. If you have any other questions about this, please feel free to reach out and let me know. Hi, this is Michael Sandler with Fisher-Sandler, answering your quick bankruptcy questions with quick answers. So one question that comes up from time to time is people want to know if bankruptcy has any kind of